Welcome to the SMB Community Podcast with hosts Amy Babinchik, James Kernan, and Carl Polachek. Produced by Kernan Consulting and for the international MSP community. We are dedicated to making every IT professional a successful IT professional. The SMB Community Podcast is brought to you by Kernan Consulting, your mergers and acquisitions experts. Since 2006, we've been through over 30 transactions, and just this past year, we've been involved in over 6. So if you're interested in either buying, selling, or valuation information, please reach out. I'd love to talk with you. There's a ton of activity going on, and you can be a part of it. Reach out for more information at kernanconsulting.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SMB Community Podcast with me, Amy Babinchik, and James Kernan. How are you today, James?
Hey, Amy, I'm doing great. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, we're going to jump right into our question of the week today. And our question of the week is, what are some good tools, good AI tools to use in marketing and sales? Have you seen any?
Yeah, well, the list changes every day, it seems like, but some of the things clients I work with, besides the obvious of, Copilot, putting together presentations, creating policies, things like that, ChatGPT, creating content, and I'm seeing more and more of my clients and people in my circle using ChatGPT as also a strategy tool to ask about logical next steps in the sales process, or maybe new target markets to chase after, or what the new target markets will be in 2025 or in the future. Those are some basic things. Historically for me, it's been more around last year creating content. And this year I see it being used a little bit more in strategy and approach. I don't know if you've seen that either, but those are a couple of quick things that come to mind. There's a cool tool called Gong, and there's some other tools that do something similar to this, but it basically is like a note taker on your video meetings, but then it breaks down and will tell you how much each person's talking, what the action items are. It'll really summarize and provide action items from your video calls, and more things have moved in the sales process to online meetings. So I like that. I like those tools as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of newsletters that I get that I find useful. One is called ChatGPT Central. It's obviously focused on ChatGPT, but they constantly have 50 awesome prompts, 10 marketing prompts, 10 sales prompts, right? That type of newsletter. So every week they come out with something new, and it's ChatGPT focused. So if that's your AI of choice, that would be a great one to subscribe to. The other one I subscribe to is called the Rundown AI. And the Rundown AI is the broad market of AI. It's really focused on tools, and they have just a library of, it's probably a couple thousand different AI tools now. So that's a nice one to follow because they're always kind of letting you know what's out there for possibilities. And then one of the things that I like about them is they will once a month they'll publish a prompt, because learning how to prompt these things is the biggest hurdle. And their prompts are way more involved than mine. Mine is like, half a sentence, go. And there's a, like a full paragraph, really, really narrowing down the thing and providing some detail and all of that. And you do get better responses that way, but it's a skill to learn for sure. And what I've done is I've actually started to keep a library of prompts that are useful, that I got good responses from.
Yeah.
So I recommend that. As far as specifically marketing and sales, though, I think the real thing is to use the AI to help you generate compelling content off of your maybe thought leadership materials or your existing sales materials. You can ask it, you can upload that document, or in Copilot, just point it at that document and say, hey, based on this document, what are 10 social media posts, that I could do? And it'll come back with those right for you. Yeah,
That's a
great
great one.
suit.
Just
Yep.
yeah, I was going to say jump in, to create subject lines, or webinar titles, that are catchy. That's a great one. Good point, Amy.
hmm Yeah, and look at it though, because sometimes they're a little too catchy with it. I find the AIs love emojis and in punctuation. It's just like it's a little they can be a little over the top for me. So always check your AI and make sure that it's speaking in your voice or something close enough to your voice to be recognizable. Um, and James, I know you saw some videos that I did recently using some AI characters. A tool that I use called Kuso came out with these AI characters that you can have it generate a script or you can upload a script and they will speak it for you. And to me, they still look a little kitschy. They're still AI looking, and um, I'm okay with that at this point. I would rather have somebody know that I'm using AI than I'm not trying to not trying to pull one over on you.
Spelling of that tool for the listeners.
uh,
Do you know?
Q QUSO.
QUSO. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I liked what you did on that. I thought that was amazing.
yeah, whenever I see a new tool, a new option, a new feature, I always like to try it, see how it works, see what it does.
Yeah, and I've seen lots of MSPs really struggle creating video content because they're camera shy, I'll just say, and they
Mhm.
avoid it like the plague. And this is a great alternative. You're creating video content with this tool, and that was one of the things that caught me. And then we all know you can record yourself multiple times, and it can be very, very time consuming, especially if you're trying to create a script and read off a script, get the right messaging. And Amy, those videos that you made, I thought were again spectacular. So well done on that. There's here's something else to just comment on, from an AI standpoint. AI, there's a lot of the technology inside, like Copilot, for example. That's, to me, that's inside the Microsoft stack. There's AI tools that you can use to help you. I mentioned the tool Gong. Gong has some AI features to it. LinkedIn has some great AI features in Sales Navigator specifically. So those are some inside the tools that are noteworthy. And then there's another one we haven't talked about. It's called Cran. And Cran's an AI competitive intelligence platform that really tracks your competitor activity um, across millions of data sources and kind of gives you a clearer picture of what your competition's doing. And I know when we do SWOT analysis during assessments for some clients that I work with, that's an area that they really struggle in. They don't really know who their competition is. It's always good to keep an eye on them and watch what they're doing. So you should check that tool out as well. It's called Cran with a C.
Nice. All right. So we gave you guys a bunch of tools, and I'm going to stick a plug in right here for my AI class that's coming up.
Yes, please do.
um, yeah. So I'm running a class on for MSPs on how to manage, monitor, and secure AI in your clients' environments and in your own environment, really. Right. We have applications coming in that our users are using. We just rattled off a bunch of them. And a lot of these get OAuth permissions in your network. Their accounts being created, stuff being uploaded. I mentioned uploading a document. Well, that's how these AIs work. So we've got a lot of security concerns, a lot of privacy concerns. Um, we need to enable our clients to use these things, but again, it falls into the wheelhouse of the MSP to make sure that your client is doing those things safely and securely. And these are new applications for you to monitor and manage. And so go over to thirdtier.net, sign up for my class. It's going to start on February 3rd. So you need to get yourself signed up for that pretty quickly.
Right. Cool. Thanks for sharing about that.
Well, did you see the news this morning? I saw a couple. Well, since our last podcast, I will say maybe not exactly this morning, but probably the biggest thing that hit the news was Fred Voccola. I'm not sure how to pronounce his dad actually. Sorry. Uh, Formerly Kaseya's CEO has stepped down, and looked rather sudden because when I read into the details, there's no actual plan in place. Somebody's on the board is stepping in temporarily, but it, it was quick.
Yeah, and I guess it wasn't a surprise that he stepped down. To me, he's had a super successful tenure there. He's been there for 10 years. Seems like it's longer, right? But 10 years in this industry is a long time, and he's really built Kaseya into the single largest, platform provider with the $1.5 billion dollars in annual recurring revenue. It's pretty amazing what they built Kaseya into. So that part's impressive. Now, I will say they don't have the best reputation in town, from my personal opinion, or at least in my circles. But you can't, you can't discount how successful they've been. But to your point, Amy, I think what's shocking to me is how he stepped down. It seemed rather abrupt. It is kind of timed around the beginning of the year, and I have seen some speculation in the news that, maybe it said something, uh, about them going, into another IPO, so I don't know about that, and Fred maybe doesn't think he's the guy, but, it seemed rather quick, and there's some other chatter going on that, people hope there wasn't a hack that's coming out, in the press, because they've been beaten up in the news over that, so, I mean, normally when you step down that
Yeah.
quick, I mean, something happened, right?
Right. Yeah, I think everybody's kind of waiting for the next news cycle to hit so that we do see what actually prompted
Wow.
this to occur. In addition to those speculations that you said you saw, I saw another one that said this may be related to the incoming president and his new picks.
Interesting.
And so that's also, I guess, on the table as a possibility, and maybe he's being tapped in for that. But you're right. He's been there for 10 years. Yeah, the revenues increased, but it's been a little bit of a mixed bag, right? They did have some major hacks. They've got a not stellar reputation in the industry still. I think they're still struggling with that with the Datto acquisition. I still see a lot of complaints about billing and invoicing. So there's some things there for the new CEO to fix up, and I do hope they focus on those issues.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, that's big news. We'll keep you updated and follow along. You know, soon we'll all know why that all happened, but, we will see.
Yep. So the other big news in our industry is that we finally know what the new arm of CompTIA is called. So to refresh the memory of our listeners here, when CompTIA was acquired, only the for-profit arm of CompTIA was acquired. That was the certification arm. The nonprofit arm, which was the communities, the trust marks, that kind of stuff, was not acquired. And so we were waiting to see what its new name was going to be, and it's taken a few months, but they announced their new name. It's the Global Technology Industry Association. And it'll be interesting to see what its focus is. Previously under the CompTIA name, their focus was to create more workers for the technology industry. That was really their big reason for being. So I don't think we've seen yet what their mission is going to be at the new GTIA, but I expect we'll see that coming pretty soon. This really hit my radar because on LinkedIn, so many people I know started changing their employer, and I didn't realize that they were employed by CompTIA, but turns out I know lots of folks that are.
Right. Right. So what is it? GTIA, the Global Technology Industry Association, is the new name, right?
The new name. And I guess we wait to see if they will keep up the same mission or adopt a new mission. So we'll look for that happening next, I imagine.
Yeah. So that's very big news.
Yeah. So other things that I saw in the news, probably, less big news, but things to sort of keep our eye on for 2025. Apple announced that they're going to do a lot of product updates this year, up to 25 of them in 2025, and they're going to be updating products that they haven't touched in a long time. So new watch technology, new low-end phone technology, right? The SE phones. They're going to be doing major updates to that. And I don't know what all, but I mean, I think everybody knows that Apple does need to shake up their technologies. Yeah, freshen it up. It's gotten a little old. We'd like to see some actual new and innovative things. I know they're doing a bunch of work in AI, and they did say they're taking AI slow. So we'll see what happens. It's definitely something to keep an eye on to see what these refreshes look like.
I'm excited about that. They've always been such an innovator and such a disruptor. They've created all sorts of almost new industries with iTunes, the online music, with the pods, the tablet success with the iPads, just all their innovation, the little earbuds. They've done so much with that, but they haven't really done anything new and disruptive like that for a while. And it's fun for me. I was an Apple reseller many eons ago, and my company had a contract that we did all the Apple education in multiple states, and it was in the K-12 markets. So I got to know, even though I'm a Windows guy, I got to know Apple real well as a company. But this was right at the time frame where their stock was really low. They were kind of thought of as, secondhand, and it just didn't seem like, on the business side at least, that they ever had a chance. And then they announced all this technology, and I'm aging myself. This was an easy 15, 20 years ago. But it was amazing to see all of a sudden how successful they became, over that time frame. So anyway, long story short, I too am excited to kind of check out and see what some new disruptive technologies they may have and what they're going to come up with.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be in a more of a home automation kind of thing. You know,
Mm.
um, around at my house, we're well bought into Amazon's Echo products. I got probably 6 of them around here, plus rings and everything. But the new CEO over at Amazon has made a lot of noise about possibly getting out of that business. That may be a hole in the market that maybe Apple's thinking about stepping into. So maybe they'll do something new. They've had one of their neglected products has been their home automation product. Maybe the new innovations of AI is what they've been waiting for to really potentially, disrupt that market.
Yeah, that's a great point. I like that. There is certainly an opening, and Apple, again, with that success of, the iPod, in the personal electronics space, in home electronics, they're just so that technology, they're so popular, so we'll see. Yeah, there's a big opening there. I mean, everything is moving to an IP address, and so you can connect everything. Now you can operate your lights, your locks, your sprinkler system,
Mhm.
everything with your phone and mobile devices.
Yeah, somebody's gonna integrate all that stuff. So there's definitely an opening there. So the next $1 billion market, like, we know what it is, it's just not gonna be you or me that does it.
We're gonna
Um,
watch it. We're gonna watch it.
yeah, so the other thing I wanna watch is what happens with consumer privacy. So, the FTC recently, um, announced that they have asked the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to create a new rule to sort of rein in these privacy data brokers. As the data brokers are selling information like social security numbers, which I didn't even think that would be legal to do, but apparently it's not illegal to do yet. So your social security numbers, your employment, your salary information, all of that stuff, they're grabbing that data and they're selling it, and it's a kind of the wild wild west. So the FTC asked the bureau to create rules around that, and we'll see what they do. I think, to me, I hear from people that this is a great concern of theirs. This type of privacy invasion maybe is a little over the top. On the other hand, we have a new incoming administration with the Department of Governmental Efficiency, and this bureau that deals with consumer privacy is on the delete list. So, just something to watch and keep an eye on, see which way that actually ends up going.
Yeah, yeah, that's big news as well to follow.
Yeah. So, James, what do you have coming up?
I am, I've got a new class coming up, inside, the Carl Palachek's, community that I'm really excited about. It's a 5-part M&A course that I'll be teaching. It starts mid-February and will go into the 2nd week of March. So it's 5-part, webinar on demand. It'll be live, but we'll, record everything and share the assets with everybody. But M&A is so hot. More and more people want to learn about growth by acquisition or how to position your business for sale. So you and I both know how hot that market is. So I'm excited to do that class. That'll be a lot of fun. So that's coming up here in February. And then I've got my mastermind workshop in Dallas, Texas at the AT&T Executive Briefing Center. That'll be super cool and looking forward to that, but that won't be till the end of March. So, got a little bit of time to, really get the year kicked off, and, we're busy here at Kernan Consulting, so I'm excited about that. I'm one of those people. If I had a preference of what my schedule looks like, it's like I wanna just stay home, get my things done, so it doesn't create that extra anxiety versus, on the road traveling all the time. I don't know how people do that.
I don't either. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. So you're
Yeah.
going to be teaching a class on M&A, which I think is a fabulous topic. It's a business skill that I think everybody needs to have now. Um, you know, once you get your head wrapped around how your business actually operates, the next thing is about how you're gonna grow it. And I think M&A is a great way to do that. You can do it on a small scale or a large scale and use it as a growth tool for your business. So you're going to be teaching a class, and I'm going to be teaching the AI class that I just mentioned. So they'll sign up for your class over at the SMB community, right?
Yep. I'll drop the link in the show notes, but it's, itspuniversity.com. That's actually where the class is going to be. So, I'll drop the link up into the show notes as well.
Fabulous. And you guys can sign up for my class over at thirdtier.net. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. Thanks, James. It was great to chat with you.
Yeah, you bet. Good to see you, Amy, and we'll see you back next week.
See everyone next week.